It is estimated that there are hundreds of millions of stray cats worldwide. These cats may be feral, abandoned pets, or lost cats that have never been reunited with their owners. Stray cats can have positive and negative impacts in communities. While they can help control rodent populations, they may also cause property damage and noise complaints. But they are alive, right? So we have an organization here, a nonprofit, that is championing feline welfare. And we have Angie Campbell. She's the Director of Communications and Fundraising for Feline Lifeline of South Carolina. Welcome to the podcast, Angie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me and having us on the program.
Lovely to talk about conservation of animals and protection of animals. Always. I'm an animal lover.
Yes.
So tell us, how did this come about? You noticed a lot of stray cats on the street and you decided to do something about it. Is that how that started?
Yes, I think most people who get involved in this type of cat rescue, they, were maybe at a restaurant or just walking down the street and saw a stray cat and wanted to help it. And unfortunately, once you commit to helping a stray cat or a feral cat, like uh, you realize that it's a lot of work for you. There's not terribly a lot of resources available to help, so you kind of have to hunt for them and
Mhm.
and really dive in yourself to make an effort.
Right. So why stray cats? Why not stray dogs? You don't really see many stray dogs around.
Right, there are certainly stray dogs and homeless dogs that need help, but especially in our community, and I think across America at large, you see more cats. Um, it's just the problem is basically, we here in America we lack a lot of spay and neuter laws in various areas. Some parts of our country have spay and neuter laws, and some parts of our country do not. And here in South Carolina, we do not, and so we see an overpopulation of homeless cats on the streets, and unfortunately, like I said, there's kind of a lack of resources, um, but there are a lot of
Right.
people who do care and who are making an effort, and I do believe that one cat at a time we are making an impact.
True. Now, when you say a stray cat, it requires a lot of medical attention. It requires the TNR. It's called the trap, neuter, and release process, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, to take, and where do you find these cats? I mean, you just see a cat on the street, or do they live in colonies? Do you have to identify colonies? Do you have to take permissions? So I'm assuming that's not a very easy task.
No, pretty much here you can just walk outside and your chances of running into a stray cat are good. Um, Feral cats are a little different from stray cats. Stray cats generally are used to people, and you can reach down, and maybe pet them. Feral cats tend to be
Be
wary
aggressive.
of, yeah, they tend to be wary of people. They'll actually hide. They won't really they won't come up and attack you,
Attack.
or
Hmm.
um, they're skittish and they're scared of people because they haven't had any positive interaction with people. So there's a little
Hmm.
bit difference there. And unfortunately, there are a lot of stray cats. There are a lot of feral cats, and they will form colonies because it's kind of a misconception that cats are not social creatures. You know, um,
Hmm.
dogs love to be in packs, and cats do also. They form colonies, and they'll form feral cat colonies, and even these stray cats will kind of attach themselves to the cat colonies because they do like being around other cats. And they do like um, they kind of depend on each other for finding food.
Support.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very interested in understanding this because I do have a lot of stray cats around my house, and there is no way that I'm able to trap, neuter, and release them again because the numbers just keep increasing, you know, uh, phenomenally. If I look at how do I control cat populations, I know they are cute, I know they're adorable, everything is fine, but after a certain limit, they scream and screech at night, they damage property, they come and ruin my plants. So I look at the other side of the problem. How do you deal with this, and do you educate people about how to deal with this kind of an issue?
Yeah, it all kind of goes back to that whole problem of, lack of spay and neuter. Once you spay and neuter a cat, it eliminates a lot of their aggression. It eliminates a lot of, their fighting, a lot of all those issues that contribute to them being a nuisance. Um, with the trap, neuter, and release programs here in America that, our volunteers do, what we do is we'll trap the cat and then we take it to either a spay neuter clinic or a veterinarian and they will spay it. They'll also treat it, for any obvious illnesses, and they'll also vaccinate it. We give the cats, time to recover and then we release them. But then on top of that, we go back every day and we make sure they have a food source. So that way they are not, rummaging through trash and bothering
Hmm.
people who are,
Hmm.
visiting businesses. So, you know, there's a lot of, work involved, but
Yes,
once you do put in that work, um,
it's
you
worth
do,
it.
yeah, it's worth it. You do see the positive effects, and it does
Yeah,
benefit,
yeah.
everyone.
True, true. Angie, I read on your website that you are affiliated, or Petco is the one that is supporting this program and this initiative. So, could you tell us a little bit about that aspect?
Sure. We're a small organization. We're a 501 c3 nonprofit, and so we rely on the public to give us donations, and we also rely on companies such as Petco to support us and give us grant money. And we are very fortunate to be a Petco Love partner, and they allow us to have space in their stores. They call them cat habitats. So
I've seen
we
them.
go in and we put the cats in the stores and we help find them homes.
Yeah,
So
that's lovely. And what is the success rate?
it's I don't think that we would be able to do what we do without that partnership. And fortunately, I would say we probably do, I don't know, maybe anywhere from 10 to 20 adoptions a month.
Oh,
So
that's a good number. That's a good
it,
number. Yeah.
it's a good number for us because we are, we're a small organization. So
Yeah. Well, I feel being a small organization or a large organization really doesn't matter because your intention is good and you are making an impact, whether it is by one cat or maybe 10 cats, makes a lot of difference, isn't it? Let's take a break to understand what Chizuba is. Everyone at some point ponders on how this beautiful life can be made more meaningful. Maybe you're a leader trying to enhance your employees' experience at your organization. Or you already work for the community and seek volunteers with state of the art skills to strengthen your nonprofit. Whatever your situation, know that you can make a difference. Chizuba began with this very vision, a vision to facilitate every skill and every passion in the world in meeting a social need. Corporate volunteering has several benefits for both businesses and organizations. In parallel, experienced and enthusiastic volunteers join NGO workers, enabling them to serve the community more effectively. Chizuba offers everyone looking to add purpose and meaning to their lives a chance to connect or volunteer virtually with nonprofit organizations from over 100 countries around the world. Visit www.chizuba.net and explore opportunities to find meaning. Chizuba, your platform to do good. And now, back with our guest.
Yeah.
Now, this is one aspect. This is a store that has cats that have been neutered and kept there for adoption. Do you also go to schools or other institutes to go and talk about this issue? Is there an organization, um, like say, a local community center where you have 5-10 minutes of introduction? Is that an event?
We currently do not go into schools and do education. It's definitely something that we would like to do and that we've discussed. It just kind of all comes down to the fact that we're all volunteers and we have to determine where our strengths are and what we have time for and making the most impact. There are other groups in our area. There's an organization called Speak for Animals, which we do a lot of partnership with. Um, they they handle a lot of spay and neuter initiatives, and their president, her name is Susan Buffano. She's a great friend of ours. I know that she has done a lot of going into schools and trying to educate people on the homeless cat and dog population, and
Yeah. I think
it.
that's a very impactful way of getting across the message, right? And young children are anyway interested in having a pet at home. So, what better way than having an adopted animal? That would be beautiful. Well, I'm just suggesting here. So, of course, you have your
Oh,
plans happening. Also, Angie, could you just tell us about how to approach a cat? Suppose I come across a stray cat and I need to do something about it. How do I approach a stray cat?
well, I definitely advise you to use caution, because some cats could be infected with rabies or another disease that could impact you. Um, Fortunately, rabies is not very prevalent. It's very rare, but you can potentially come across that. So, um, my first advice is basically to just kind of assess the situation. Everyone loves cats, right? You want to go up and you want to try to pet it, but the cat may not want to be petted. If it's a feral cat, there's a good chance that as soon as it sees you, it's going to run and hide. So if it's a stray cat, that's a different story. It could be someone's abandoned pet or it could be a lost pet. So it's always good to just kind of approach it, cautiously, hold out your hand, see if it'll come to you. If it doesn't, you know, I wouldn't advise chasing it just simply for the fact that you could chase it into traffic, you could chase it, into a
True.
place where it doesn't need to be. Um, but just kind of use
Right.
caution. It's okay to see if it will come to you because it could be someone's lost pet and they would love for you to pick it up and help reunite them.
Yeah. But in general, I think cats are affectionate, right? I mean, or they are aloof. There's a misconception. You might as well clear it today.
Yeah, I mean, cats have personalities just like people do. I think cats are very more like people than dogs. Dogs tend to love
Hmm.
everyone and they're very affectionate and social.
Yeah.
Cats, you can have a cat who is very, very friendly, who wants to be in your lap, who wants to be with you all the time. I have one right now trying to come into the picture. Um, they,
Oh, there.
you know, um,
She approves. She approves of this podcast.
she does. She's very happy that we're talking about this. Um, but yeah, I mean, cats, they have different personalities. You can find a cat that may be aloof. You may find a cat that's super friendly. Um, it that they kind of get a bad reputation. Everyone who doesn't like cats just kind of brushes them off and says that they're aloof and they don't like people, but it's really just not true.
Right. I have friends who are cat people and there are dog people, and there's a clear distinction there. So
Yeah.
absolutely. And did you ever have an adoption that was from out of South Carolina? I mean, South Carolina, of course, yes, but did you ever have somebody say, "I've seen this cat on your website and I would love to adopt him or her," and have they come across, have they reached out to you?
Yes, actually, it happens every now and then. We'll have a cat that it's kind of a rare breed or looks like a rare breed because,
Uh-huh.
again, a lot of our rescues come from the streets or come from situations where we don't know their history. We don't know what their breed is. Um, but just recently, we actually had a person buy a house and they contacted us because the previous owner had left two Maine Coons. And Maine Coons are, a very sought after breed, but a lot of people will say that they have a Maine Coon and it's not actually a Maine Coon. But these were
Okay.
actually two purebred, very large Maine Coon cats. And once we put them online, we got flooded with applications from people across America wanting these two cats and willing to pay us a lot of money. But we always, we interview everyone. We try to pick what we feel is going to be the best home for those cats. We don't, we're not swayed by someone offering us lots of money or, making promises. We look at many factors just to make sure that we're doing the best we can to place these animals in a good situation.
Right. I'm talking of money here. Uh, I'm sure most nonprofits are, short of funds. It's always like that. I wish we had more funds. I wish we could do this. So I'm sure that is
Mhm.
the situation with you as well. So how do you tackle the situation, or how can somebody wanting to help this organization, Feline Lifeline, help out?
Yes, we always need funds. Our greatest need, probably outside of like foster homes, is for funds because veterinary care is very expensive. And then on top of that, we have cat food that we have to buy. We have, you know, various supplies, and it's very expensive taking care of cats. And we do have to limit how many we can intake simply because we don't have enough money to care for them all. So we've done really well as far as raising money online using Facebook and even Twitter and other social media platforms. But largely, I would say most of our funds come out of our own pockets. All of our volunteers contribute. Um, so yeah, we definitely would appreciate any donations. And you can go to our website. We have a donate button on the website, and if you have another way that you prefer to send us money, then you
Mhm.
can always reach out to us. We would love to talk to you.
Absolutely. I'm sure this is, it touches the heartstrings of people who really love cats. And you obviously are passionate about cats. So that's how you're into this entire thing. Well, here's a shout out to all the people who love cats. Please go ahead and donate to Feline Lifeline. Thank you very much, Angie, for talking to us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much again for giving us a chance to talk about this topic.
Large, expressive eyes, small, delicate noses, playful antics, and soft, fluffy fur can melt any heart. But too many of these are found abandoned, and thanks to organizations like Feline Lifeline, they have a second chance at life too. And here's hoping that everybody lives in peace and supports each other. Thank you very much for listening to this.